there. Good to see you again. Glad to see that the story does interest you. It is exciting, isn't it, to hear about him and the adventures. I need to let you know that Vincent is going to be clearing out the guest bedroom. The stables will not do, and knowing that it'll probably take you more than a few nights to hear the story, I want to make sure you're comfortable. Excuse me. I think I need something to drink. Vincent! Vincent!
Yeah, boss? Never gonna have time to respond to all these emails.
Yes. Vincent, can you do me a favor? Could you get me a glass of, tea? No meat this time, just tea.
Sure thing.
Thank you. So, where did we last leave off in this adventure? Oh, the green eyes. The green eyes, yes.
Green eyes. Green eyes. Green eyes follow the creature as it steps into the streaming moonlight. Its shape portrays that one from the deep. While the upper torso is shaped as a female, the waist down belies that of a spider with 4 legs instead of 8. Within seconds, it will be on top of Baldwin, with wicked claws glistening in red. In a flash of desperation, Baldwin drops backwards, his hands falling first, hoping Jacobs has his hunting knife on him. And just as his right hand lands on the knife's handle, the creature is on top of him, slashing at his thighs, just missing his stomach as he flattens himself. Searing pain radiates out, and a groan escapes Baldwin's lips. But the will to live is a funny thing. It makes the body do incredible things. As such, Baldwin yanks the blade out of its sheath, and then slashes across to his left, slicing the monster's underbelly, and without another thought, slashes back to his right, opening up the wound fully, letting its insides start to fall on top of him. A piercing scream escapes the female's lips, sending shivers down Baldwin's body. In the final act of rage, the creature stabs with its claws, aiming for Baldwin's heart. But falling on Jacob has saved him, for as he yells out, trying to arch away, only his stomach is offered. Agony rips through Baldwin, and his last vision is that of the creature's face looming closer to his. Baldwin slowly wakes up to the sounds as if he is home. But how? Slowly opening his eyes, he glimpses sunlight streaming. Into his room? No, for the light is moving, waving as if on a breeze. As he fully awakes, he finds his gaze taking in the surrounding. Instead of his usual window and bordered walls, there stand branches, large ones, intertwined with some spiraling up, and all covered with the most vibrant green leaves. As he sits up, he finds difficulty as pain sears across his abdomen. Groaning, he falls back into the bed.
Your wounds were serious. You're lucky to be alive.
Baldwin turns to his right, and sitting in a chair, made as one with the tree, is an elf. He looks up to be moderate build, with golden hair and brown eyes. And he's just staring at him.
Where am I? We are on the outskirts of the Forbidden Forest. I can see the look on your face. Be safe, knowing these woods are not tainted.
Caught off guard, Baldwin tries to sit up again, though this time he is helped by the elf.
How did I get here? My mate and I brought you here. Tana applied what little healing magic's upon you to get you here, where then our healer could do the rest. The rest? You were attacked by a Jaragumo. You looked puzzled. You may know it as Adarachni. What? But that's just myth. Sadly, that is not the case. You should rest some more. Baldwin. My name is Baldwin. I am Elrin, and we can talk more. But first, you need to rest so that you can eat proper.
And with that, Elvin waves his hand towards Baldwin, and sleep overtakes him. Baldwin reawakes to sunlight streaming through the branches. He attempts to sit up again and finds in place of pain tightness in his abdomen. Pulling the sheet aside, lifting bandages, he finds large scars pink with tenderness.
Must you? I just changed those.
Are you Tana?
Oh my, no, no, no. Do I look like an elf?
Well, no.
Tana, I am not. But you may call me Yagba.
Yagba.
Yes, yes. Now I must go. I will tell Aaron you are awake. As for the bandages, please try to leave them alone. They are soaked in oils that will help with the healing and the scarring.
Who are you? Why are you with these elves?
Perhaps I need to check your head for bumps?
Why?
Because I've already told you who.
No, I mean, you're a druid. A human druid. And living as if it would seem with elves.
Okay, no bumps on your head. Just a simpleton you are.
What? No. Listen, everyone knows humans live with humans and elves with elves. Yet, here you are.
Yes, here I am. And there you are, recovering from a wound that should have killed you. Yet, you are living the past week amongst the very elves that saved you.
Weak?
Sighing, Yagba reaches for a staff, leaning against a branch, and then heads towards the door.
You said a week?
Yes,
Is all Baldwin hears as Yagba disappears from sight. A week, Baldwin thinks, and in moments concern washes over him as he thinks of Sylvia and Byron. They must think he is dead, and he must get himself home. No sooner does Baldwin stand up out of bed, barely keeping himself from falling back, Elrin steps in.
You may want to take it slow. Your body lost quite a bit of blood before we found you. I need to get home to my wife and child. They must think I'm dead. Well, right now is not good. A storm is approaching, and being caught in it, especially in your state, will surely weaken you further.
Baldwin begins to protest, but Elrin holds up a hand.
Fear not, Baldwin. We will help you get back. But you must wait until the storm passes, and it will allow Tana to give you more healing magic. We will hope for tomorrow, yes?
Baldwin nods as he ungraciously sits back into the bed.
All right. While I wait, can you at least tell me how I got here? Before we found you, Tana and I had been tracking the Jorgormal for 2 days. We know it came from the deep, within the northern plateaus. And before you ask, they are the plateaus north of the Forbidden Forest. They are thousands of feet high, and laced with untold numbers of crevices and caves. If you don't know your way, you will surely be lost forever. So, knowing this, we became concerned that such a creature would venture out into the forest, to the outskirts of Talon. This was not the first time we tracked such a creature this far. 6 moons ago, a trail of death and lost souls appeared and then vanished. Each gold trail leading back from the outer hamlets to the plateau, but not once did we find any remains, which means the bodies were taken, but as to why, we know not. And Talon? As we approached the first farms, we began to see the same pattern. Do you mean to say Jacob, the farmer you found me with, he was not the first? No, he was the third. The farms north and west of this Jacob, they were attacked.
Baldwin is shocked. He knows these farms. The one north of Jacob's, with the Spindles, known for their sheep's wool garment, and the family to the west were Jonathan and Mariel, both of whom had been at his wedding with Sylvia, and stopped by every few months on the way to Talon Square. His heart sank, and he began to worry about his family and farm.
Rest assured your family is safe, thanks to you. How can you be sure? How can we be sure? My family is quite away from the next farm. Perhaps, but as I said, thanks to you.
Baldwin looks perplexed, of which Elrin smiles warmly, and then continues.
No slash cut open the creature, and at the right spot. It brought death quickly. When we found you, the creature was lying on top of you, as you were unconscious, and slowly dying yourself. While I pulled the creature off, Tana applied her healing as best she could. From there, we bandaged, then strapped you to our horse for the ride back. Our thoughts were of the old man, being your father, and you trying to, of course, protect him. Nay, Jacob was a friend. Sadly, he was already dead when I found him. If it wasn't for this dog, Jasper, who knows who or even when he would have been found. So the dog is not yours? No. Why? It followed us all the way back, and it waits outside for you. Elrin, Jacob's wounds were more than just a simple attack. His insides were gone from at least what I can remember. That is the way of the Juragorno, for they believe they gain strength, magic, and knowledge by biting on the organs of their prey. As part of their belief, each victim brings them that much closer to their queen, god, or whatever they call her. How does one gain magic from our organs? Every creature has a life force. You humans call it spirit. The Juragorno supposedly can take our spirit and convert it into magic. That is all I have learned.
Baldwin just stares at Elrin. Thoughts come to him. Things like fiendish creatures, magic, elves, druids. It was too much. Was farming that much simpler?
Yes, but Yagba said I'd been here a week. I guess my wounds were as bad as Jacob's. No, and yes, your wound wasn't deep. However, when the creature slashed you, you were losing a lot of blood. So maybe yes? Yes, as you would have lost too much blood to survive. Still, there was the poison to contend with. The creature's claws, yes, nasty. It causes the body to rot from the inside out.
Baldwin stares at Elrin, his mouth agape.
You'll outfind Baldwin. Tana was able to slow its progress so that Yadva could do her magic. Though it isn't really magic as it is an understanding of nature, the good and bad. She can cure almost any poison. What she does is like magic in our eyes. Without she uses a bit of this, a bit of that, some spit, and then you are cured.
You mean that pink stuff she made me drink had spit in it?
No. That was just me having a bit of fun at your expense.
Well, regardless, Elrin, I am in your debt. As my wife Sylvia would say, you and I are in a life bond. At that, Elwin raises a quizzical brow.
My life was to end a week ago, as set in life's weave, created by our Maker. You, though, changed that, which means now our weave is entwined. Thus, in time, it'll be I repaying this debt by saving yours. You do realize elves live hundreds of years, yes?
Well, I'm just saying what my wife would have said. With a knowing smile, Elrin approaches the bed, extending his hand to Baldwin.
Any person, good in spirit, would have done what Tana or I did. To have you as a friend, without you worrying of a debt, that is a blessing's gift.
Baldwin looks to Elrin's hand, then back to his eyes, his green eyes. They portray trust and honesty, and something more. So without another thought, Baldwin grasps Elrin's hand tightly and replies,
Friends.
The next morning finds Baldwin standing and stretching, testing his body. Tana had visited twice more during the evening and early morning with more healing magic, the last of which had put Baldwin into a deep sleep. Now, as he puts on a fresh tunic over his head, he feels both excited and nervous. Excited to be heading home to see his family, but nervous in what state he will find them in.
Ready?
Yes.
Then we shall head out. We can eat while we ride.
You have a horse for me?
Well, we could sense the urgency while you were sleeping. So, Tana went to another and borrowing. This way, you'll be home sooner. Mind you, even on horseback, we are still 2 days' ride from outskirts of Talon.
Baldwin smiles back while nodding vigorously. He thinks home. Home in only 2 days. So, with nothing else left to do, he sets out towards the door, but then stops short as he sees Jacob's hunting knife on the small table. Grabbing it, he slides it into his belt and then follows Aaron's voice as he talks to Tana. As he sets his first foot out of the doorway, there he finds Jasper jumping up and barking with excitement. Bending down to pet him, Baldwin talks to him.
Well, hello there, Jasper. Nowhere else to go, I suppose. Well, Since Jacob is gone, why don't you come back with me? Well then, it is settled. God knows Byron will love to pamper you. Okay, let's go, boys.
As Baldwin looks to catch up with Elrin, he takes in the surroundings. It isn't just his room made of branches. The whole house is tight with branches weaved to form windows, doorways, tables, even the roof. And as he steps into the outside world, he is accosted by a cacophony of noises, that of nature and elven, blended, yet rhythmic. Looking about, there are other such houses, all built the same way, each one set almost 30 feet up from the ground. With slow steps, Baldwin winds down the tree on stairs made of bark and limb, and all the while his eyes are darting this way and that. It is one thing to hear stories of elven villages. It is yet another to see and be caught up in it all. Bridges span from tree to tree. Elven children bounce from limb to limb, playing chase. Wild birds of every sort flutter, while squirrels squeak as they chase the children. And when Baldwin reaches the last step, his eyes catch sight of the largest tree he has ever seen, right at the village center, its trunk as wide as his house.
It is beautiful, yes? Yes.
Tana approaches Baldwin smiling, and hands him the reins to the horses he'll ride. Only now in sunlight does he realize her eyes are golden, and for the briefest of moments his heart quickens. Realizing where he is, he quickly nods his thanks, and then climbs onto the horse. Circling one more time, Baldwin takes it all in, as Tana and Elrin start riding south towards home.
Alrighty. So, that is going to be it for this evening. Good a spot as any. Rest assured, I know the spot we left in the book. So, let's head down. It is dinner time. The wife, Claudia, has made a special stew for us, and we don't want to miss that. Yes, she has a bit of her unicorn magic mixed in with that. And that's another story altogether. Anyways, let's continue the story another night. Shall we?